Rockstar families, and welcome to this week's VODCAST. I come to you with another, it seems, chance of snow coming on Tuesday, or maybe a mix. I'm just hoping that we can have a full week finally, especially since the writing SOL is done and gone. Now we can really focus on everything that we need to and finish out the year strong. I have a couple of announcements before I pass you over to the strategy session. First of all, the Rockstar's effort, determination, grit, focus on the writing SOL this past week was incredible. I just wanted you to know that. I was so incredibly proud of the work from every single Rockstar this week during those 2 days of testing. It was amazing. So I just want you to know that it was really incredible. A couple of other announcements. Number one, Spring Picture Day is coming up actually this Tuesday, March 25th. The form was sent home if you want to order a class picture. That was sent home in the Friday folder. For these pictures, remember, the picture company takes a picture of every single student. They'll send home the developed photos in a couple of weeks, and you can either decide to keep them and pay for them, or you can send them back if you don't want them. So that's how the spring pictures actually go. And I'm also asking if the Rockstars can wear their Room 21 Reichard Rockstar t-shirt for the class picture. That would be awesome. If you want them to wear something different for the individual pictures, just have them bring the Reichard Rockstar t-shirt separately, and they can put it on right before our class picture. No problem there. On Thursday, Mrs. Gardella visited the Room 21 Rockstars, talked to them a little bit about middle school, and gave them the middle school field trip permission form. Our middle school field trips are coming up on April 10th. The students will be going to the school that they are zoned for. So if you're unsure of that, please make sure you contact the school and Mrs. Gardella, or if you have any questions about the orientation itself, you can either send them to me and I'll give them to Mrs. Gardella, or you can contact Mrs. Gardella, our school guidance counselor, directly. Those forms really need to come back by Tuesday, if at all possible, so that we can make the appropriate plans for transportation. The teachers will actually be kind of dividing themselves up. A couple will be going to AG Wright, a couple to HH Pohl. And for the students who are not going to one of those schools, Mrs. Gardella sent home the paper that said that you will have to provide transportation to the school that day if you would like. Now, she did inform the students that for parents, there will be some type of orientation for each school, maybe later that evening or sometime in the future. So the actual orientation that we'll be attending during the school day is for the students. And it kind of looks different at each school, so we'll just have to go with what they have. I have a really special announcement for the Barrett Academy. On April 12th, we'll actually be crashing a local neighbor's yard, one of our very own, in the Vista Woods community. Now, we're asking if all of the Barrett Academy scholars can lend about 45 minutes of community service time to this. We would be so very grateful. And there's a form that's going to be coming home tomorrow, and it actually kind of divided up the times based on what house your Rockstar is in. So if they can come during that time, that's great. Or if they need to come at a different time other than that time, just make a note on that page. Or please send the form back even if they can't make it at all. We just need to be able to make appropriate arrangements. If you are willing to let us borrow a shovel or a rake or something like that, or donate a bag of mulch or some flowers, we actually have a sign-up genius list going online with all of the things that we're asking for. That link is also available on the form that will be coming home tomorrow about Yard Crashers. So once again, that is on Saturday, April 12th in the Vista Woods community, kind of back behind, trying to think of a good area, kind of beyond North Stafford, kind of down 610 a little bit. That's back where Vista Woods is. And that will be going from 9 to 12, but we're just asking the scholars if they can lend about 45 minutes of time. That would be excellent to kind of spruce up a local neighbor's yard. Report cards will be heading home on April 15th. That date was pushed back a little bit by the school division just because of the days that we have missed. The science fair is coming up on April 17th, and the Rockstars will be entering projects, but we'll be doing a lot of the work in class, and I'll be passing out more information in class this week about the science fair and what that is composed of. And my final announcement is just kind of a plea. If you have any type of bottles that hold any type of liquid, I have a water bottle here, here's a Coke bottle, things like that. This week we're really going to be starting measurement with metric and customary units. We're doing a lot of problem solving this year. You know, they've been working in 3rd and 4th grade a lot on the actual measurements, what they mean, and now we're kind of extending that and trying to convert back and forth a lot. If you have any bottles, if you could just clean them out and send them in, that will be excellent when we get to capacity. It will be really nice for the rock stars to actually see the measurement in real life, where it is all around them. So that would be excellent, and I really, really appreciate it, Rockstar families. I think that covers all of the announcements. Now I'm going to send you over to the strategy session for some great new strategies this week in all of the content areas that we're covering, and I'll see you on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar. So the first area I want to work on today in math is a little bit of perimeter, area, and volume review. So I have these scenarios up on the screen. We actually worked with some of these last week in class. So your goal is basically to figure out, would this person in each situation that I'm about to show you use perimeter, okay, to find out what they're looking for, depending on the situation. Now remember, perimeter is like a power walk around the outside of something. We're trying to find a total length around the outside of something. So if I'm planting a garden, here's my garden, I have to figure out the distance around the outside so that I can buy some fence. So I have to measure this side, and this side, and this side, and this side, and then I figure out my perimeter. Okay, now that's one possible thing you might need to find. Secondly, so perimeter. Secondly, the situation might involve finding the area of something. What is the area of something, rock stars? Yeah, so I would try to go somewhere in your home where there's tiled floor. Maybe it's where you come in at the doorway. Maybe it's in the bathroom. Maybe it's in the kitchen. Anywhere where you see squares. How many square units does it take to cover a given area? So if I have my garden and I was going to put down tomato plants, I maybe would divide this garden up into square units and say, my goodness, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2 rows. I have a total area of 12 square units to plant tomatoes in. Okay, that'd be one particular situation. So the area is how many square units cover a given surface. And finally, the problem may involve volume. And remember, guys, what is volume? We worked with this in science and math. It was kind of cool how we were able to use it both in science and math. Yeah, it's how much space something takes up. So, and our major focus on volume, Rockstar families, is with rectangular prisms. So if I have a box, you might have a Pop-Tart box or a garbage trash bag box or a box you got from the UPS man, something like that, like the one I drew on the screen pretty poorly. We were trying to figure out how many square units fit inside this box. So if I put, how many cubic units? So if I put a bunch of little cubes inside of this box, imagine that these blue things are cubes, I need to figure out how many can fit inside of this box if I stacked them, okay, kind of like Legos. So volume, perimeter, area. For every single situation on this screen that you're going to see in a second, the problem either involves perimeter, area, or volume. Now the rock stars can get 1/2 of a house point for every problem that they solve. They have to show neat work and bring it in for me to do so. Now let's do the first one together. So it says, Angie made a pen for her puppy with dimensions 7 feet by 3 feet. If she wants to find the amount of fencing that she will need to buy for the pen, what will Angie need to calculate? Well, I'm going to draw personally the pen, okay? And they're telling me that the dimensions are 7 feet by 3 feet. And she wants to put fencing around the outside of the pen. Well, we've been talking in class, if I only put fence on this side and this side, my puppy's going to get out and it's going to run away. So I have to know, by using my skills here, look, well, that side would be 7, or that side would be 3 feet, and this side would be 7 feet. And then to find my perimeter, so I established I have to find perimeter here. Okay, I'm going to add 7 plus 7 and 3 plus 3, or 7 plus 3, 7 plus 3. That's 10 plus 10, which is 20. So my perimeter is 20 feet. So the major focus of this exercise, Rockstar families, is just to be able to identify, am I using perimeter, area, or volume to solve a given problem? So what I'm going to do is actually erase the screen right now, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Remember, you can earn 1/2 of a house point for every problem, other than the one we just went over, that you complete at home. Here are 2 of them. You may want to pause your screen. Here's another one. And here's another. 2 more. Here are 2 more. You want to pause that screen, and that does it. So those problems are great problems to use at home to practice distinguishing between perimeter, area, and volume. Okay, really, really important to be working on. It's a tough concept, and now we're really moving on from that. So we're going to be doing, this is good practice to ensure that that is down. Now I'm going to create a new page really quickly, and I'm actually just going to insert a couple of shapes. So first I'm going to put in, I don't want the isosceles triangle. I'm actually going to put in the right triangle. Okay, now let me just make this clear with nothing, no fill. Okay, here we are. So we've been working on finding the area of squares and of triangles and of parallelograms, and the biggest hurdle here is just basically the formulas, figuring out what formula do I need to use in order to find the area of this given figure. So here I have a right triangle. I know it's a right triangle because it has one right angle. Now, rock stars, for 1 house point, if you record this, what is the other classification that I could give this triangle based on the side length? So I already classified it based on angle measure. It's a right triangle. What else is it? Write that down, bring that in. Now, but today we're going to be focused on finding the area of this triangle. Now, there are a couple important things that we need to use when finding area. So the formula for area of a triangle, and you can say it with me, rock stars, if you want to, is 1/2 base times height. Okay. Now, the first thing, sorry guys, the first thing that I actually have to do is identify what is my base. Well, my base is going to be right down across here, and I'm going to say that my base is 7 feet. And I'm just going to put the symbol for feet rather than writing it out. And my height, now the height is kind of the tricky part. The height is going from the base to the very top vertice, or the highest point of the triangle, technically. So this is my height, and it's kind of a scribbly line there because of my poor drawing, but the height of this triangle is going to be 9 feet. Okay, so if I have base and height, go ahead and solve that problem for 1 house point, guys. If you record it, draw the triangle for me. What is the area of that triangle? Now, you can get yourself 2 house points, and I'm really looking for a thorough explanation here. Why, guys, do we have to have this 1/2 in this formula? That's my big question to you. Why is that 1/2 important? Why can't I just take base times height to figure out how many square units cover this right triangle? Why is that 1/2 here? You can get yourself 2 house points if you record why for me. Okay, so you may want to pause the screen because now I'm actually going to take us over to, not to the weekly email that I'm about to type up for you Rockstar families, but to our Class Fusion page. I'm going to show you a couple of different things that you can be doing in the home to also assist your Rockstar. The first thing is here under Class News. Really this week we're starting metric versus customary units of measurement. We're going to look at length, we're going to look at weight and mass, we're going to look at volume with capacity. And the biggest thing I think that we can work on right now at home is actually this Khan Academy video. The reason that I chose this video, and you'll see in a second, is because of how cool it is in having all of these different units of measurement. You know, by the end of the week, by the end of next week especially, I might say centimeter. And the Rockstars are going to have to tell me, is that a U.S. customary unit? Is that a metric unit? And what does that help us to measure? Does that determine length? Does that determine weight or mass? Or does that determine volume? And they're going to have to be able to name that. Or temperature in many cases. So this video does a good job of kind of refreshing the Rockstars' memory from things that they've learned in the past. Okay? If you have somebody at home sign this off, Rockstars, you watch this video, you can get yourself 2 house points. So just put that on your work page that you've been doing. It's a really great site, and it will assist with what we're working on in the classroom. A couple of other areas that I want to point you guys to. This week in reading, we're going to continue with drawing conclusions, but we're majorly going to focus on author's purpose. Okay, so I put down a couple of different sites here under class news that you can visit to help with author's purpose. So you see here I have drawing conclusions and author's purpose. I kind of put them together this week. This is another one of the same sites that you can practice determining why did the author write this particular passage. And there are normally three reasons. Number one, to inform us, to teach us with factual information, to entertain us, to make us laugh or cry or really think about something and just, kind of for fun, or to persuade us, to convince us to do something or to convince us with a point of view. So the key here is the students can practice reading these really short passages and determine what is the author's purpose of this particular passage. This would be great practice in the home to assist that skill. Now, our major focus in class, yes, it's important. It's going to be important for us to determine, was this written to inform, persuade, or entertain? But we're really going to start getting into those critical thinking questions in our guided reading groups and when students are leading conversation. So I've replaced the weekly writing challenge with actually some just questions that you can ask your child or rock stars you can just use at home whenever you're reading to ask yourself to kind of get some meaning out of the text. Since we're focused on author's purpose, the questions that I put up here today are for that. So some sample questions include, based on the title, why do you think the author wrote this selection? Or which words do you think best describe the main reason the author wrote this selection? Okay. Why did the author write the article from a particular point of view? How did the author influence your response? Was the author's purpose specifically stated? So these are really great questions, higher level thinking questions to try to get more meaning out of the text, since we're working on the reading comprehension skill this week of author's purpose. I'll change this every week that we venture into a new reading skill, but if you show some evidence of actually taking some of these questions, thoughtfully thinking about them, maybe writing a few of them down, I will give you guys a couple of house points based on whatever you bring in. So that's kind of, variable based on what you do. I am asking that Rockstar show me a book that is challenging their reading level by the end of the week that they're reading toward their 40 book goal. I want to make sure that they're really stretching themselves and trying to read books that are going to really prepare them for middle school and bring out all of those great reading comprehension strategies. So that's something that I'm actually asking by the end of the week. Now, our science review video will be posted later this evening on our Class Fusion page. Our test is on Tuesday. One area that I would definitely visit and check out would be SOL Pass. I still have the link down here that you can visit to study for these areas. And if you go under elementary school Science 4.5, you will actually find the unit that we're working on right now under 5.4, which is matter. There's a study guide, there's different review games, videos, anything that you can possibly use to assist you is all there. It's really, really awesome, rock stars. A great way to study. And also remember to use our study video this week that will be posted a little bit later. And the only other thing I want to show you is we're actually going to also be starting social studies. Tomorrow we'll start our new unit called A New Nation. So you can actually visit U.S. History to 1865 and visit New Nation, which will give you the overview of kind of what we're looking at. If you want to work on beginning to study for that, these are some resources that would be excellent. Next week I'll have a few more as well. Now let me take you back to the Class Fusion page. Remember, guys, that you can visit our Class Fusion page at any time for up-to-date information of what is going on in class. If you're on Twitter, don't forget to follow our class on Twitter. Our class handle is @ReichardRock. We would love to have you follow us, and the Rockstars regularly post during the day a summary of what we're up to in class and different reactions to different things that we are engaging in. I'm now going to turn you back over to Mr. Reichard in person. We'll see you later. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families, I hope that you found those strategies successful. Give me feedback on them. Are they just enough? Are you using them at home? What would you like to see? I would love all of that feedback. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. We are finally back into the swing of things after the writing SOL. If you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, do not hesitate to contact me. You are the best families in Stafford County, and I'll see you next week.